real slugger who can definitely deliver a knockout punch.
Yeah, it should be a good match this, Phil. Really looking forward to it. The effervescent John Higgins against the young man who's become very quickly a big hero back in his home country, Iran. Played wonderfully well, didn't he, to win that shootout. Beating Mark Williams in the final, finishing out with a wonderful century. Really top player, Hossein Vafaei. Be interesting to see. I know he's not beaten John Higgins yet in tournament play, but as the boy said in studio, he's got a chance. John Higgins coming into this tournament, not with the greatest of form, Phil, has he? The way he played at the Northern Ireland. Maybe wanting to put that right in such a big and prestigious tournament as the Champions, of course, is.
Yeah, the bookmakers make Higgins 4-9 favourites. Hossein Vafaei 9-5 to win the match, 66-1 to win the tournament, and I think that's quite generous. I rate him highly.
Yeah, and of course, best of sevens as well. It's a very short sprint. So the top seeds are a little bit vulnerable, you would expect. There'll be one or two shocks in the early stage of this tournament. Will this be one? He's going to have to play well, he's saying, because that's what he's up against. John Higgins, one of the best safety players that's ever played the game, so he's going to have to compete in that department, but most importantly, score when he gets the chances.
Sometimes containment is all there is. Now this red is very reminiscent of the red he knocked in against Mark Williams in the shootout final. Screwed back, made 71, lifted the trophy. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's not taking it on though, Phil. It's just that brown is just a little bit awkward for his bridging to take that red on. So he's going to be a little bit more prudent, wait for a better opportunity. Both players won't like the fact that the black has gone safe. And that's a slight error. Okay, he's got a good white, but he's left this red into the bottom right hand corner pocket. And he's just looking to see if he plays a cannon on the next red. Could he maybe stay in the black or even knock that red towards the black and maybe knock it over this bottom left corner pocket? That would be a shot. But this is not a gimme. I played it well. Played it well. Always when you're going into another ball, just take your eye off it slightly, but he stayed very still on the shot there, didn't he? Lovely shot.
Early test of cueing, technique and nerve. thought he'd fluked it.
Higgins, 1.
I'm a bit surprised he played it this hard. He could have played for that red, just what we see in the pictures. We almost see the blue going in. The red just to the right of the pink he could have played for there.
1.
Good pot. I'd like to get the blue back on its spot. Just got to avoid the green here. Played a cue ball here with a lot of right hand side just to avoid the green. Maybe played either the other way, yeah, with left hand side to avoid it on the other side. Now, how's your look? Not great.
Six.
Could take this red on, may even get on the black. Once again, requires really good cueing this. Well played. Is he on the black? It's pretty tight.
7.
He's having a good look. Oh, it's very close. Very, very close indeed. Maybe too dangerous to take on.
And that shows the fine tolerances of snooker, because had he potted the red into the middle of the pockets, he would have been on the black. No ifs, buts or maybes, but he just caught it slightly too thin.
Hossein Vafaei, 7.
You're right though, Ken, about his performance to win the shootout, the tournament that qualified him for here. He was simply sensational in the history of the shootout. No one's played better collectively over the course of the tournament to win it. Started out with a century against Peter Devlin, 1-2-3, and made other breaks of 83, 54, a couple of 71s, all the way through. He was dominant, and it's a very tough format to make breaks in.
Yeah, completely agree. And of course, you know, the noise of the crowd as well. You've got to have really good concentration in that particular event. 10-minute frames.
This one. Mars, would you mention it? Oh? Okay, okay. Marcel will mention the smoke that's keep.
I think he's just complaining about a bit of smoke at the entrance of the both players. It's probably still in the air. Well, he went all out attack there, but it's gone wrong. He's left this red just left of the black spot. Not quite sure what he can hold for the pink here, but he may go up for the blue or the green. Preferably the blue, you would say. Yeah, nice shot.
1.
It's always handy having the blue on its spot. You're going to win a frame. Pink is in the open, but it's not straightforward here. Yellow is his choice. May look at the blue a little bit later on, but he's got the red into the same pocket as the yellow. But these reds just around the pink spot, all sort of blocking each other.
3.
That's what's just going through his mind at the moment. How can he attack that bunch? Play some sort of little cannon. And wouldn't take a lot to open them. Just trying to get a good angle on his next colour here.
Four.
Early indications, Ken, the table is playing beautifully. Gliding, isn't it?
Yeah, probably took him a little bit by surprise, that shot, because he's sort of overrun it, Phil, a little bit for this yellow. It's not a great angle on the yellow, particularly if he wants to try and, as I said, disturb those 6 reds around the pink. So he may have to play for a loose red here. The one at the bottom of those reds, the loose one that's in open play, and he's got on it nicely, it looks like.
6.
Doesn't want to be
7.
straight on the pink, and I think he's just run perfectly. Now he's got to pot the pink, play some sort of cannon into those 2 reds just to the right of it. Yeah, nicely played.
Thirteen. Fourteen.
It's not been the most electrifying start of the season for John Higgins, but the fact remains, in quite a few matches he's lost, he's played well. That one wasn't well played.
20.
Yeah, he'd be very disappointed with that misjudged cannon on those reds. It was a good opportunity for John Higgins. Yeah, trying to catch that red full ball and just caught it the wrong side of it, quarter ball. Nothing on for him here, just to try and get a good cue ball back in the balk area.
Just to put some numbers on what I was saying,
John Higgins.
European
20.
Masters, he lost to Scott Donaldson in the first round, Higgins, but he made breaks of 101, 81 and 62 in that match. In the British Open, we saw him lose 4-3 to Yuan Sejun. Again, made a 1-3-2, a 78, a 65, a 64, lost that 4-3 on the black. He's coming up against players who are performing very nicely, as Marco Fu did in the semi-finals of the Hong Kong Masters. And talking of nice, how about that from Vafaei? What a red to dig out.
Yeah, it was lovely. And a lovely little kiss as well, just to hold for the brown. Has this cue ball, needs to run a little bit more, just about.
5.
I think he's just on that red, just to the right. It's pretty tight. As you can see from there, he may just have enough of the red just to pot it, play for the pink into the right centre. Oh, he's going to play for into the left centre, but he's okay.
6.
You wouldn't say this was a really good frame winning chance with those 2 reds just to the right of the black. He's going to have to
12.
disturb them. Well, he certainly get a few points on the board before that.
13.
Just overrun the cue ball. Wanted to be straighter on that pink.
$90. 20.
Doesn't hang around, Vafaei. When he's in the balls, he's very stylish.
Yeah. Very quick
26.
player. Got a nice touch as well. But he's got a lot of power in that cue as well when he needs it. Really good, solid cue action. And even as set up there, you can see stays nice and still on the shot.
27.
It's okay. May have played for that red into the right centre, but
34.
as we spoke about, this table is running beautifully at the moment. He's got the red into the bottom right corner and taking that black, of course, now releases those two reds just beneath it, so it doesn't need a cannon on those. They're both potable. So now all of a sudden, good opportunity to win the frame from this visit.
35.
It was well worked out. Black puts him 28 points in the lead, so red and a black
42.
will be 35, but still 35 remaining. He's going to need that last red.
43.
Oh, well, once again, I did say about the cue power that he has, and he just barely touched that, didn't he, Phil? I mean, look at the reaction he's got. He's got too much into the cue ball there.
Yeah, he's one of these players who generates backspin so easily. Oh, well done.
That was a beautiful shot, wasn't it? Because there was pressure on that shot.
49.
This is a really good break. What I like about him, Phil, he's not afraid to take on the big shot, is he? You know, he got down, even though there was pressure on that pink, he just got down as if it was
57.
elementary. That's a good break.
59.
Yeah, there I was, telling you about the fact that John Higgins this season has come up against some inspired opponents. Just as I'm relaying that information,
62.
Vafaei knocks in a red. No one could have expected, and this is the consequence. Higgins has got another tiger by the tail.
71. Seventy-seven.
84, the excellent break. And that means Iran leads Scotland 1-0. More great. when you go through a very lengthy career, as John Higgins has done, you do get periods where you come against opponents who consistently play well, and you think, what have I got to do to win? Tournament after tournament, week after week, you're playing rivals who are at the top of their form. It looks as though Hossein Vafaei might well be at the top of his form and could well pose big problems for the 2016 Champion of Champions.
Good cue ball, but as you see, he's got a customary red here. Cue ball back around the back of the black. Quite wide with the red. And the attempt at a pot, but still not the cue ball exactly where he wanted it. The second part of that shot.
We've established it's 3-0 to Higgins in head-to-heads. The first meeting between these two was routine, 4-1 in the Northern Ireland Open 5 years ago. Then they met in the Indian Open in 2019 in Kochi. Higgins led 3-0, was pegged back to 3-3, made 104 in the decider to win 4-3. And the last time they played was in the first round of the Players' Championship here on RTV earlier this year in Wolverhampton. Higgins was 2-0 down, but from 3-3, played brilliantly. He made 3 centuries in that match, actually. And I think he might need to replicate that kind of form this afternoon.
Yeah, I think so. He's going to be well aware of how the evidence of the first frame, how well his opponent is cueing. He's got to get that cue ball very tight to the bulk area. Otherwise, his opponent is going to keep the pressure on them. Yeah, if he's just having a look here, if he plays a containing safety shot, leaves the cue ball somewhere near this bottom right corner pocket, he's got to make sure that he doesn't leave a red to the left middle. Now, what's the cue ball here? He's got to make sure that that red just to the right of pink is not on, and he's played it nicely. He's got the block and the cover. He knew exactly where he wanted to put the cue ball there, and he's played it perfectly well. He won't be happy with that, Hossein. He wanted to really keep that cue ball on the right hand side of the brown as we look, because he's got a straightforward safety shot here, John Higgins. The cue ball had been 6 inches to the right, the brown would have blocked this pathway. Excellent return. And these are the type of shots we're talking about. He's not afraid to take these on if he wants to. As I said, he's got plenty in the queue to be able to screw the ball back towards the bulk area. This time, he refuses it. He's the type of player, isn't he, Phil? Is saying he'll be really relishing the opportunity of playing against one of the greats, John Higgins. It's a real true test.
Yes, indeed, relishing it, because Vafaei is one of those players who absolutely believes in his ability to beat anyone, anytime.
Yeah, and of course, as well as a test of his talent, it's a test of his mind, his confidence, concentration. Everything has to be spot on when you're playing a player of John Higgins' ilk. But I'm sure it's something that he's absolutely loving every bit of it. These two reds are planted into this bottom left corner pocket. I don't think they're dead set, but he may be able to make it. I'm quite sure of the line there, you see it. They're not, as you see, not set. It'll be a difficult one to negotiate, that plant. He's having a good look at it though. Just wondering, is the red just above those? Is that available into this left corner pocket as well? He may be having a go at that. Now here's where his cue par comes into play. Watch the cue ball here. It's not bad. Could have been a lot worse, this. Higgins is looking at the plant as well. Pretty dangerous. There's a little bit of a gap, as you can see there, between the two reds, so it is makeable. Very risky.
First priority there, not to bring any rogue reds back down the table, which Higgins did not. Cue ball deep in bulk. That will do.
You may take this red on here, Phil. Yeah, and once again, screwing the cue ball back.
Such a useful shot to have in the armoury. Back in the 80s, Bill Werbenick from Canada was tremendous at that shot. Our own Neil Folds was superb also.
I was on the other I was on the other end of that that list. Not a shot I had in my armoury, that's for sure. that's a wonderful shot. Lovely punt. A little bit unlucky where the cue ball is finished, but that was excellent. Another nicely
6.
cued shot there. They get a lot of pace in the cue ball there and off the cushion. He has done. He purposely played for this red into the left corner. Got to avoid the red close to the black spot. Oh, well. That went in off the other red.
7.
That was a fluke. Have a look at this one. Not intended, that.
That was a magician's fluke, or a wizard's. Sleight of hand. Hopes no one notices.
Struggling here.
12.
Position. Now can he dig out another long red into this left corner pocket? Red just to the right of the pink does pot into this left corner. Maybe not. Good safety though. Excellent cue ball.
John Higgins, 12.
So formidable. He's here because he won the Championship League last winter, beat Stuart Bingham in the overall final 3-2. In the decider, he was 44 down and he made an 88 clearance of the very highest quality. It wasn't easy at all. And he just kept knocking in pressure pots to win the whole shebang. And now another opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, he had him. John, he had his opponent in all sorts of trouble there. Had to make an exact contact on that red. Caught it too full, and now that's the opportunity he was waiting for here. Plenty of reds available. Pink is available, even black maybe into the left centre.
Six. Seven.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get the green back on the spot. Just gets it out of the way of that right centre pocket. The one red that would really open up this break, that red just to the right of the black spot. That would clear the black at least into the left corner pocket. Just maybe for a few shots time, but just one red that he'd be thinking about, trying to get out of the way of that black spot. As I said, he will. Get a few points on the board here for us. Keep a good control of that cue ball.
Eleven. 16.
Yeah, didn't mean to cannon that red, but it's still okay. He's played that nicely. Now, can he get on that red?
17.
He could play on 2 reds here. Red into the right corner, that red just right at the black spot, red into left corner. Wow.
20.
Cue ball has run to an awkward position here. I want to be a bit straighter on this red. Not straightforward, this.
The red was right into the heart of the pocket, but he could not avoid all of that traffic.
Yeah, he's just struggling a little bit with the cue ball, wasn't it? I mean, as we talked about the speed of the table, that cue ball flew off that top cushion for his intended red. So maybe just a safety here, put the yellow safe. Well, he hasn't played
John
that very
Higgins,
well.
23.
Very surprising from John Higgins. Wanted that yellow tight on the right hand side cushion, wanted the cue ball tight on the ball cushion. Very uncharacteristic from him.
I think the speed of the table is even more impressive when you consider this is the first session of the first day. If you're going to get a sluggish table that quickens up as the week goes on, it's normally at its slowest on day one of a tournament. If this one quickens up, it will take some controlling.
Yeah, sometimes the table takes a little bit of time just to settle in. Particularly if the arena has been cold, you know. Dampness sometimes sets into the cloth, but not on this occasion. Looks beautiful. This could be a mistake. He may be on this red. Has he got the cover? I think he's got the cover. He's being fortunate there.
This frame, Ken, already lengthier than the first, and we still have 8 reds to pot.
Tough shot, this. Very tough. In all sorts of trouble there, and hasn't got away with it. Just wants the cue ball clean. Probably spotted a bit of chalk maybe on it.
The refereeing team this week, top notch. Brendan Moore, Marcel Eckhart, and our official for this one, Desislava Boshilova. Well, I don't think it was a kick, but a big break here from Hossein Vafaei would be a real kick to Higgins' chances. Had that gone in, surely he would have equalised.
Yeah, surprise and missed.
1.
No, what a chance here for Hossein to reduce his arrears in this frame. I'd love to get on that red that's closest to this bottom right corner pocket. That would release the red above it, and of course, if he can get on this red here, may be able to get on the black straight after it. Needs to go. Yeah, he's okay. Now, will he play for the black into the left centre pocket? Just going to come around, have a look. Yeah, see quite clearly goes. And that would certainly be very important if he was going to try and win the frame from this visit.
5.
That was nicely played.
Well.
This is actually Hossein Vafaei's second match in as many days, while John Higgins had to just prepare by practicing for this tournament. Vafaei yesterday played at the Morningside Arena in Leicester in the English Open qualifiers. Got through the first round there, beating Zhang Jian Kang 4-2.
20.
That, though,
Hossein Vafaei, 20.
was entirely unexpected.
Oh, what a let off for John Higgins there. Came right across the cue ball there. That one will hurt.
One.
Well, the yellow that he didn't actually put tight on this right hand side cushion. He's probably come to his rescue here. Oh, he's played this nicely. Red for right centre pocket. Lovely. Nicely controlled.
3.
The difference 18 points. Won't need that red. That's tight on the right hand side cushion. That's better.
4.
Now, does he play a little cannon here? Does he try and drop in behind one of these reds? He's played a little cannon. He's played it lovely. Excellent shot.
11.
And as soon as that came off, he looked up at the scoreboard to see exactly what he'd got to do from here. Not a great deal, really. Black, red, one more colour.
Yeah, these have got to be given a lot of care and attention, these reds. He's got to play it with a bit of pace.
19.
As you see, he didn't try and get really out on the black. He was making sure of the red because it puts him 35 in front with 35 remaining. Desperate to pot this black here. Yeah, well played.
$27.
So that misread from Hossein It's cost them this frame, you would feel. Straight out of the blue, wasn't it, Phil? I didn't expect them, the way he was queuing, to miss that red.
Higgins, 27.
Well, there's an adage in snooker, isn't there? You know, queuing round corners. And that was the quintessential queue around a corner. Vafaei won't be giving up the ghost, but if Higgins needed a couple of snookers and roles reversed, you wouldn't discount his chances. I think Vafaei's are limited.
Yeah. Not many frames, John. Higgins has lost in his career from a position like this. 42 points in the lead, 35 remaining. 2 4-point snookers are, of course, possibility of a 1 4-point snooker and maybe a free ball.
One of his most painful defeats came in that British Open final against Nigel Bond all those years ago, when Bond needed a snooker in the decider. Got it, and eventually won on the black, but that was 1 snooker, not 2.
Great effort. Another couple of inches with the cue ball. And it would have been nice, but I think he's left this red on for John Higgins.
Our first match of the day was rather one-sided. You get the impression this is going to be the opposite. Keenly contested.
7. Nine.
Mark Selby's got his feet up already in the quarterfinals, waiting for the winner of this one. He won't mind if it goes the distance and maximum mental energy is
12.
expended.
Sixteen. 21.
A 29-minute frame in which Hossein Vafaei had a great chance, but technically was deficient. Ends with John Higgins equalising.
More great drama. That's a big tick from me. Trust a Trader, sponsoring ITV4 Daytime.
Just a trader.
Welcome back to Bolton and the 2022 champion of champions. It's the second match of the tournament.
Thank you.
Mark Selby
Reserve
already
time.
through very
John Higgins,
convincingly.
break.
Selby beat Lee Walker, the world seniors champion, 4-0 first up. Now John Higgins and Hossein Vafaei are doing battle to provide Selby's opposition tonight in the quarterfinals. And by the way, before this frame gets into the meat of things, must congratulate my co-commentator Ken Doherty on a 147 break in an exhibition on Saturday night in Dublin. There's life in the old dock yet.
Yeah, last 147 I got, I think it was playing darts, Phil, so I was surprised as anybody else, but yeah, it's nice. Good night in Fox GEA Club in Dublin. He's left the possibility of this red into the left corner. Excellent pot. And beautiful control. Stayed lovely and still, didn't he, on the shot? Now, it's not the greatest of angle on the blue to go into the pack. It's a little bit more acute than he would have liked. But there are a couple of reds available. Maybe trying to get on the red just above the black here. Doesn't want to be covered by the red on the left hand side. No, it's just held up enough.
3.
Well, this is nicely played. He's got a nice angle on this red. He can just brush the red away from the black here. Oh,
Hossein Vafaei. 3.
You know the chief priority is spotting the red. You know that. But you can't stop concentrating on the positional cannon. It's just natural.
yeah, it's always the case, isn't it, when you're going into other balls, potting a ball, it just gotta give it that little bit more concentration. Just sort of takes your eye line away from the pot. This has drifted. I think he's left this red. He's claiming the cue ball drifted to the right as we look. Needed a fuller contact on that red. I think he's left it.
One.
Just caught that red a hair thicker than he needed to pot it into the middle of the pocket, and that helped hold the cue ball. This table is like lightning.
This requires a good positional shot. It's the red just below the pink into this right corner pocket, right in the middle of the pack there. I think he's got on it nicely. That was, yeah, a lovely shot. Now he may play into the two reds just to the right as we look. Play for black or pink here. He's played for black.
6.
I think the red at the bottom of the pack may pot into the left corner pocket, so I'm not quite sure what he needs to go into the reds here. Let's have a look. One red at the bottom of the pack does go. Played it lovely.
30.
Now this is a
40.
shot. Try and get into the gap. You see the gap between the red and the left hand side and the bunch of 5. Try and get in that little gap there. Split these reds open. Well, no. He's playing for the loose red again. I thought he played into the bunch there. Even though that
21.
red was on, Phil, he's going to have to play a cannon into those reds eventually.
22.
So now the angle is there. He's going to play into the bunch, you would feel now. As you look, it's okay. He's got a red into the right centre.
29.
And now, as a multiple world champion at this level, this is a frame winning chance.
30.
He's always been the same, Ken. The
33.
way he compiles a break, he's always looking for value.
Yeah. And that's what makes him one of the best break builders the game has ever
34.
seen. And he's overhit that though. Playing for the blue into the right centre, and once again, speed of the table is catching both of these players out. Yeah, just he weighs up the possibilities, doesn't he? I mean, there was one chance there where I mentioned he could have gone into the pack a little bit earlier, took the loose red, and then went into the pack. Now one more good
39.
pot and position. And it should be straightforward here for John Higgins. But once again, gotta get a good cue ball here. Top of the black. Nicely played.
40.
Let me play a little cannon, will he, into the pink here. Just to hold the cue ball. Red or pink will do. With the cue ball here. Maybe even both. Nicely played. Lovely. Now back in prime position.
47.
Earlier this season, he went over 900 century breaks in professional competition. 904 is the tally right now. And even in matches he's lost this season, he scored heavily. The prime example of that being his defeat by Marco Fu in the Hong Kong Masters. Higgins made 2 centuries, a 91 and 83, 2 more over 50, and lost 6-5. So his scoring power has been there.
63.
Yeah, I think that's
64.
one of the great things about John Higgins, Mark Williams and even Ronnie O'Sullivan, that as they got older in years, they haven't slowed down in the scoring department. They're still as strong as ever when they do get the chance. Still
69.
knocking in centuries on a pile of them every season. You may not see a century in this frame, but still a wonderful break from John Higgins to win it. And he's back in control in this match.
Wow. John Higgins 70. Hossein Vafaei 7. John Higgins 10.
Yeah, the nod of concession has arrived from Hossein Vafaei. That was vintage Higgins. Got a chance and seized it clinically. He's in front at 2-1.
More great drama. That's a big tick from me. Trust a Trader, sponsoring ITV4 Date.
Hossein Vafaei has played John Higgins on 3 previous occasions. Higgins has won all of those meetings. Vafaei's thinking, will it be 4 out of 4?
Thank you. Frame 4.
It started so
Hossein
encouragingly
Vafaei
for
break.
him. An 84 break in the opening frame. Then though Higgins won a much scrappier second and looked good in adding the third with a break of 70.
Yeah, it's just slightly gone off the boil a little bit, Hossein, after that wonderful start. A couple of misses. And that poor safety shot in the last frame where he thought the cue ball may have drifted slightly. He's handed the initiative back to his opponent. He's taken this red on into this right corner pocket. Lovely. Beautiful. Good cue ball as well. Nicely cued.
The shot of the match for me so far. So comprehensively delivered, that cue. And the cue ball gets out of there.
Yeah, just enough, wasn't it? He was a bit worried that the cue ball may have rested on that red. Well, as you can see, it's just drifted enough past it for this red into the left corner pocket. Just got to use the extension here. Extended rest. Can he reach it? No, I don't think so. It doesn't have to do much with the cue ball here. You could play for the black, or if you wanted to, go up for the blue. He's going to play for the black. And there's a few reds open here, Phil. You won't even contemplate going into the pack just yet. There's a red on the bottom right of the pack. That red is close to the cue ball there. Playing a couple of reds here if you wished. And we're potting this red. The red to the left of it at the bottom of the bunch will pot into this
16.
bottom right corner pocket. So you could pot 4 or 5 reds and blacks here.
70.
This would be 3 reds, 3 blacks, Phil. I'm getting excited.
$24. $25.
Higgins trying to suppress excitement, but he'll be enjoying this. Suddenly in the groove.
Nicely played for the red into the right centre. You can still hold for the black here. There you see that red right at the bottom of the pack, looking at. And get on that next.
33.
Needs an angle. As he come a bit short. I was going to say needs a nice angle where he can
40.
just pot it and run through with the cue ball. Has he got that angle? Is he going to play for the black here? Looks like it. He's got to rush that cue ball through the pack. Nicely played.
41.
Still at the point, of course, when he's only 2-1 ahead, that if he has to play the correct shot to get on the colour other than the black, he will do so.
Oh, needs a bit of luck here. Has he got it? He deserves it, really. I don't think he's got it, though. Could have easily been on a red into the right centre, but I think they're all blocking each other. That's very unlucky. Is this red available down into the green pocket? Very tight past the blue. Played that shot with plenty of pace. And very unlucky not to be on a straightforward pot. Looks like just a safety shot.
When the cue ball hit the first cushion there, he was a little concerned he overcooked it. As it is, he must be very content.
If that does pot, though, he's not taking it on. Playing a containing safety shot. Has he left this red onto the right centre pocket? I think he has, you know. Oh, very close, but not there. And he's left it for Hossein.
Didn't want that kiss. This is a very important juncture of the match. Vafaei needs to reassert himself.
Well, if he takes this brown on, Phil, would he take the chance of maybe playing into the bunch of reds? Need a pink. May have spotted a plant. He was looking at a possibility of a plant. He's on the loose red, but there may be a plant in the middle of that bunch, you know.
5.
Did have a look at it. Maybe they're just not red. It's just touching the other one, so red back up for blue.
Six.
It's a good opportunity, this. Okay. Take the red next to the green. And he'll try and leave himself a nice angle on this blue to try and disturb some of these reds, you would feel.
11.
Imperative he stays low on the blue here. And that's pretty good.
12.
Doesn't have to play this with a lot of pace if he does go into them, because they're loosely packed, so just medium pace. And there you see it now. That's pretty good. That's okay. He's knocked the red to the left-hand side cushion, but he's on this red into the right corner. Oh, he's over. He was expecting a little brush off that red on the way through with the cue ball. Didn't get it and has lost position. Oh, this is a tough black. Pretty good, Phil. I must say that wasn't easy at all. Cut back on the black, controlled it nicely with the cue ball off the red. Oh, it's very good. Very, very good indeed.
Stoic effort this from John Higgins' opponent. We can't second guess Higgins when he went for that red to middle. It was a tricky shot, but the way he was cueing, it was definitely well within his capabilities. But the red was missed, and Vafaei fighting back.
A bit short of pace here. He's got to be careful. He doesn't want to knock the red onto the cushion here as well. He's need to play this with a bit of pace. Oh.
Hossein Vafaei, 39.
Did all the hard work and missed the red. He really should have got. Very disappointed there.
His two worst shots of the match have been on reds into that pocket from short range. One in the second frame, and now that one there. Now, if Higgins does have a relative weakness, it is using the rest. Not saying he's a bad player with the rest, but I think in relation to the rest of his game, it is perhaps a small Achilles heel.
Yeah, he's played that well. He's got a nice position here. Put the blue and try and get in between those two reds. This top cushion. Got to land it in an area. Now watch the cue ball here, right between the two reds. Has he got the pace? No, it's come up short.
6.
Red may be still potable into the green pocket as we look, but a couple more inches on that cue ball. It was perfect. He's taking the red on. Ooh. So
Try Higgins,
this frame
6.
still in the balance.
Given where the colours are, only the green is off its spot, but it's still in mid-table. I think whoever wins this safety exchange might well win the frame. And Ken, as you well know, when it comes to winning safety exchanges, John Higgins has a very high percentage.
Yeah, and one of the best, of course, in situations like this. Trying to just carve out one opportunity. Very good at doubles as well. Oh, not on this occasion. It was worth having a go. The way the red is finished, if you can just leave the cue ball exactly, take this red on into the green pocket, but leave the cue ball exactly where the red is. You'll have a nice angle on that pink, should the red go in. Oh, that's exactly what he tried to do. It was close. Now have a look at the angle on the pink. Would have been perfect. Try and get behind that red on the left hand side, or even dislodge it from the cushion, but chance for John Higgins here. Another miss that you wouldn't have expected. What a lovely, delicate little shot that was. Very well thought out, that shot. Simple little shot, but very effective. Oh, well played. Well played. You can hit that full ball to knock it safe. Could try and bring both reds off the cushion here, but it's a little bit treacherous. The red could go over a corner pocket here, so he's played it nicely. Well played. Slight advantage to Hossein here in this little mini safety battle. wasn't playing the pot there. He's trying to move that red just past the middle pocket, but once again, it's an error from John Higgins because he's left Hossein a possible pot here. Yeah, very good. Didn't put all his eggs in the basket there. You see it from the cue ball, playing it with a little bit of an element of safety. So tuck up behind the pink here, and he's got his opponent in big trouble here.
Yes, if a couple of colours were safe, Higgins would feel a lot more secure. But as we've established before, everything is there to be potted.
Well, the straightforward would be left-hand side cushion, but he could leave the red. So he's going to play it off 3 cushions here and try and knock that red onto the ball cushion here. He's going to try and hit it full ball almost. 1, 2, 3. Now watch the cue ball here. He's got to hit that full ball. Well, that would do. His hand went up there because he didn't play it like that, but he's got it safe, and that's all he could hope for. Well, let's see. I'm going to try and get that cue ball maybe down towards the black here. Red in the middle of the ball cushion. Just a bit short of pace, is it? Needs to run. Needs to run. Oh, it looks. Oh, almost. Pretty good effort there.
Double kisses can be so destructive. It's a pressure pot for Hossein Vafaei. If it goes in, 2-2 could be on the cards. He seemed to play that one just a little bit too quickly for me, Ken.
Yeah, I think he's done that in this match, and the big shots. He just needs to take a little bit more time, I feel. Just a fraction, a second more, just to size up that shot, because that was a frame winner if you got it. It could be a frame loser.
One.
He got himself into a great opportunity there, Hossein, but a little bit casual on that. Pot could prove very crucial indeed.
Takes the yellow off the last red, so the yellow will be respotted.
3.
Yeah, a little shake of the head there, Phil. He's not absolute perfect. This is the key shot. Once the yellow gets nicely on this green.
5.
Well, at least one person liked that shot in the audience. But this is the shot. You said he's not the best in the world with the rest. If there was one element of his game, it is the rest play that not as good as the rest of his game, but this is virtually frame ball. Well played. No problem whatsoever. Don't know what you were talking about, Phil.
8.
I did say relative to the rest of his game. Gave myself a disclaimer. Can't imagine he's going to miss this brown, which is really frame ball.
12.
He's come back well, John Higgins. Started off a little bit slow, but
17.
this is a massive frame to win.
The pink did not matter. What
1917
did matter was Hossein Vafaei missing the last red. Higgins 3-1 ahead, needing one more frame for victory, but having lost a lot of big leads lately, he ought to be taking nothing for granted. Lots to think about, lots to mull over for Hossein Vafaei, not least the miss on the last red in the fourth frame, which made the difference between parity and John Higgins leading 3-1, needing just one more frame to reach the quarterfinals and to set up a meeting with Mark Selby. But it was around this time last year when, for Higgins, the angst began. He was 8-6 up to Mark Allen in the Northern Ireland Open final, lost 9-8. And that set a pattern of disappointment. 8-6 up to Neil Robertson in the English Open final last season, lost 9-8. And of course, his most painful defeat, again against Robertson, 10-9 from 9-4 up in the Tour Championship. And when you go through a spell, Ken, when you've had big leads and you've not converted them, it does sort of chip away at the thought process.
Absolutely, yeah. And even, you know, a player of John's distinction and character and experience, still those little doubts creep in. Particularly if he gets into a position like that, you know, in another major final. So he's got to cross that barrier when it comes, get over it as quickly as possible and just erase those doubts.
One.
Good pot, but just slightly over on the cue ball, wrong side of the blue.
Six.
I'm just coming down to have a look to see there's the black pot into this left corner pocket. Not quite sure, it looks pretty tight from our angle here in the commentary box.
Hossein Vafaei, 6.
Kenny looks to me as though he's dispirited.
Yeah, he's just had that feeling, hasn't he? He got himself into a good position in that last frame. He had that red, you know, and if he had have got that red, he could have won that frame. It was a red that you'd expect him to get 9 times out of 10. But yeah, it looks like sort of the wind has gone out of his sails at the moment. A little bit deflated and dejected in his chair. Higgins, on the other hand, starting to play with a bit more confidence. It's not vintage John Higgins so far this afternoon, but so many times we talk about his B game, and sometimes even his C game can be strong enough. He's come down this left-hand side now. Does this? Yeah, not quite sure. I don't think that black does pot into the left corner.
4.
So back up for the blue off this red, you would feel. Try and get a nice angle on the blue.
5.
Still a couple of reds that he can go at here. He doesn't have to go into the pack. Maybe he is right into the. Gotta hit the pink here, full ball. Oh, but first things first, you've got to pot the blue.
John Higgins, 5.
Again, that was completely surprising, especially the fact that he missed the blue by quite some way. Caught a very big portion of the jaw. Now, if Vafaei isn't a student of what's been happening on the circuit over the last 12 months or so, he should be. Because if he can win this frame, then doubts might creep into the mind of Higgins. Probably will do.
Seven.
Yeah, as I said, it hasn't been vintage Sean Higgins this afternoon. There's been a few glaring misses, been some good stuff, but there's a lot of stuff there that he certainly won't be happy with.
8.
Tried that nicely. 2 reds that are available into the bottom right corner pocket now.
14. 15.
'It's a case of a little bit of unravelling here.
21.
When he pots this red, that will release, of course, the red just below it into the opposite corner pocket.
22.
Sometimes when you, as I said, he looked a little bit deflated, but when your opponent misses
20.
a chance there, it can give you a little boost, you know. And there's a chance that he didn't expect to come so quickly. So John, on the other hand, will be reeling Let his opponent off the hook.
That's the fabric of these
35.
best of sevens. No lead is insurmountable.
36. Forty-two. Forty-three.
Well, I was just looking at those two reds, Phil. They may be a possible plant into the bottom right corner pocket. I was just having a little look at them now. Try and swing that cue ball down this left-hand side now. Are these two reds a plant into this corner? If they are,
48.
and he gets it, it will certainly open up the other reds here. Big shot. This could be a frame winner if this goes well. It's not bad. He's on the black, but
49.
this is not easy. Would have liked to be an out for the pink there, but this is okay. Not too bad if you just want to drop the black in, but he needs one more red after this black. This is missable. Oh, well played. Great shot. That's a frame winner, Phil. That's his best shot so far, I think.
Could not agree more. That was superb, especially
56.
after missing that pressure ball in the previous frame. The Higgins missed blue
57.
is being well and truly punished.
$64. $65.
When he gets into this mood, I mean, he's quite frightening for opponents, how quick he can score and how positive he can be on the shot as well, even on the pressure shots.
72.
And sends out a really good signal to his opponent as well. He misses, he's going to take advantage.
Similar. 72.
The break ends at 72, and so does the frame. But the match doesn't end. Hossein Vafaei is still in there swinging.
More great drama? That's just the job. Trust it.
That's the modern game, Ken. How many times do you see someone break off, leave a red and don't get another shot?
Four. Five.
That's worked out nicely. Very nicely.
12.
Because potting this red liberates the other one right next to it.
30.
Oh, that's worked out. A treat.
20. $21.
Once again, he's got a couple of loose reds available, but will he play for them or will he play into the pack and try and dislodge a few more? He's gone into the pack now. How's your luck? He's on a red into the right centre,
28.
but can he pot it and stay on the pink? Looks pretty good. Oh, nice shot.
29.
Yeah, lovely shot. And just judged the cannon off those two reds perfectly. Put the pink into the left centre. Didn't want to be bridging over any reds, and cue ball, as you can see, it's nicely open in the open.
Doesn't want any messing around now. Just finish this off.
$35. $36.
Once again, obviously leaving a nice angle on the black here. Just try and brush into that red. Just above the black to the right of the pack. That's the one, and now he's always going to be leaving the red into the left corner, and he once again played that nicely. It's okay.
43.
May have to go up for blue here though. One more good positional shot here. He's got to judge this because he's going into the reds just below the pink here. So he's got to judge the cannon off these reds and try and get nicely on the blue.
44.
Just didn't judge it as well as he would have liked. So he's got a tricky blue into the left middle pocket.
Having missed an easier blue to the opposite middle pocket in the previous frame. No issue this time though.
No issue with the pot fill, but the position he was hoping to be on that
49.
red. It's close to the right centre pocket, but it's covered with a blue. So one more pot here, mid-range. If this goes in, he lands on the black. It should be frame a match.
50.
That was a good solid pot, just slightly over around the cue ball. Has he covered the red once again? I think he has.
57.
So, not out of the woods just yet. One more good pot, Phil.
And the side there shows the scar tissue. This should be routine. Ooh, that was a knee knocker.
It certainly wiped its feet, didn't it? It didn't go into the middle of the pocket by any stretch of the imagination whatsoever. So, once again, missable black this. Played that well. This time, he's on the red into the right centre pocket. He's also on a little bit of
65.
the grinding of the teeth there, Phil. You could see how determined he was to put pay to this frame from this visit. And of course, match-winning break.
66.
And given the recent history of the Wizard of Wishaw, this is exactly what he would have wanted to do.
Terrible.
To put a match away under pressure like this.
Yeah, and this will, you know, give him that little bit of confidence. He's probably been blackened slightly.
68.
As I said, it hasn't been
69.
vintage John Higgins, but this is being a vintage break in this particular frame. This is what he's all about. Done it time and time again. And he's produced it like all great champions do when they need it most.
76.
Yeah, for John Higgins, for the majority of his career, this would be second nature. But in light of what's occurred over the last year or so in his career, he needed affirmation.
Well, you always do, don't you, as a sports person? You have to go to the well. You want to
82.
feel that it's still there and that you can produce breaks like this. This will give him a lot of pleasure, this break particularly. I still don't think he'll be
83.
happy the way he's played in the match, but frames like this, when you're closing out a match, give you a lot of pleasure. No doubt about that. Be nice to finish off with a century as well.
90.
Got a pretty good strike rate on centuries this season so far. He's played 8 matches before this, made 7 centuries.
$91.
Yeah, and Hossein himself, he'd be sitting in the chair and be feeling this match. He let it slip in the early part of this game. Well, it was nicely played. Red goes to 98. Surely if this red goes in, he gets on a
98.
colour. Another century to add to the list, Phil.
99.
Yeah, and a lengthy list it is too. .905 centuries for his professional career, and that's in the top 10% in terms of gratification.
106. $109.
He had one wobbly red, but overall he's not wobbled.
$113. $118.
And now all of the tension is washed out of the Q arm. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, sets up a wonderful match for tonight as well, Phil.
Doesn't it just? John Higgins with a break of 118 finishes off